Hi, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and I'm delighted because today we get to go into the heart, and that is my favorite place to be, and I want it to be your favorite place as well. When you get used to functioning in the heart and just let go of the head, let go of the thinking and the reasoning and the logic, you will learn to feel your way through situations. It is wonderful to be intelligent and to be able to figure things out. But if it doesn't feel right to you, it's not right. We've become obsessed with the head, and we've kind of forgotten about the heart, and we've almost decided that the heart has no value. We've been told things like, well, you can be tricked by the heart, or you don't want to be one of those people that is just completely motivated by the heart because you'll get taken advantage of. We're forgetting the heart has incredible wisdom. So today we're going to look at how do I get into and then stay in the heart center. When the mind is saying, look at this, look at that, look at this, and you start becoming all confused, you're going to hop out of alignment. So our goal today is to help everyone learn how to get into the heart and then stay there for a life that will be feel wonderfully aligned, and will be wonderfully aligned. It won't just feel that way. Okay, and my guides gave us something that we can do, a little exercise. Plus, I have a wonderful miracle story that I'll share with you if we have time. So first, let's hear from my helpers and learn how to get into the heart. Dear ones, first we must identify the location and the purpose of the heart center, and then we'll explain the benefit derived from maintaining a continuous and progressively deepening relationship with heart-centered energy. One thing to remember immediately is when it is heart-centered, it continues to deepen and grow. There is no surface heart connection. It may begin as, I think I'll just connect with the heart, or I'm interested in learning more about the heart. But when you really make that connection, it will grow on its own, and you will be even more excited about continuing and developing the relationship as you see this growth taking place. As you move more deeply into the energy of higher consciousness, the heart relationship becomes more and more necessary and beneficial. That which the heart does for your physical self can be applied to your energetic self to provide maximum vitality into all of the bodies. However, you must seek a relationship with the energetic heart center before it can become your ally. The energetic attunement of the heart is not automatic as it is in the physical body, but establishing the proper alignment is just as vital for your continued well-being. So let's take a moment and compare the two bodies, the physical body and the energetic or spiritual body. So the physical body, we all know the heart is located on the left-hand side of the body, slightly off-center, and it works through the autonomic nervous system. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to stay awake all night thinking beat, 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 beat. The heart just does its job. It does its job continuously to make sure that you are able to maintain a physical presence in the world so that your energetic body has a house for the time that it chooses to be here on Earth. The energetic heart is different, and even though it serves the same purpose, it serves to keep the energetic body tuned and aligned, it is not automatic. It is something that you must participate in directly. However, if you go to sleep and you are in a state of alignment, and we'll talk about ways that you can do that before you go to sleep, you will stay there. So again, we don't have to try to stay up all night or do counterproductive things in order to stay in a state of alignment. Once you get that going, or once you've created that state, it's fairly easy to stay there if you are conscious of your energetic body. But again, this takes time and practice. The energetic heart center is located at the juncture of the breastbone on the vertical midline of the body, which runs from the top of the head to the base of the spine. So if you've seen a picture, you may see a picture of all the chakras, and they are different colors. They are always up and down, straight from right down the center in a straight line. The heart center is the fourth chakra, midway between the top and the bottom of the energy centers. This is your gateway, excuse me, into the energetic realm that provides unlimited access into the divine mind, the infinite intelligence of which you are both a product and a part. Now you might be saying, well, how can I both be a product and a part? Well, with the divine, there is a part of the divine that is in you, but you are also created from the divine mind. So God is within us, and we are within God. You are both a product and a part. No one can be cut off from God, and no one can create separate from God. You can decrease the amount of connection, the amount of divinity that you're allowing yourself to receive. That's your free will. But no one can be completely cut off. That's an impossibility. It is this connection that you must seek to deepen if you are to feel the sense of satisfaction and completion that you seek. So let's take just a moment to talk about those people, because it seems to come up in almost every conversation that I have. What about that person who is evil, who just doesn't want to be kind and loving? Are they still connected to God? Yes. Long answer, short answer, yes. Nobody can disconnect completely. They may have chosen to make their connection so teeny tiny that it's barely in existence, but they are still connected. And anytime they change their minds and decide they want a deeper connection, that is also available to them. So God is never saying no to anyone. It doesn't matter how many bad decisions you've made. It doesn't matter what actions you may have participated in that are not particularly loving. None of that matters. You will always be a part of God. You will always have a way to deepen that connection. It will always be up to you. The energetic heart center is both the guard and the gate, for it represents the subconscious mind as well as the mind of infinite intelligence. Yet, in its role of keeper of the subconscious programming, it tries to be your protector, your guard, as well as the gate, the portal for divine communication. This is where we get confused. This is why we often say to ourselves, my heart hurts, I just can't figure this out. You've got unhealed memories, junk stuck in your heart, And the heart is confused about which way it should guide you. Because when you experience significant events in any of your physical activities, the subconscious evaluates each experience and determines the value to be assigned. So they said physical activities, they mean anything that's done while you're in the physical body. So let's say you have a horrible childhood experience, and your subconscious gets a hold of that and says, oh, no way, are we ever going to experience this again? Anytime anything comes near that is similar, I will send up warning signals. Well, the heart rules the subconscious, so the heart is what is giving you those signals. The heart would then deliver the subconscious message. So the subconscious is evaluating each experience that you're having. Pleasurable experiences are labeled enjoyable and desirable, and those which may be re-experienced, while unpleasant events can be labeled traumatic or undesirable and must be avoided at all costs. This means that anytime you experience pain and you don't process the situation, the heart will actively reject any pattern that appears similar, so you won't have to experience the painful episode again. The heart is not your enemy. It is not out to get you. It is not working at cross purposes with you. It is merely trying to protect you. But any time you choose to be spiritually mature and to heal the past situation, you will only walk away with the gain from the situation, the more enlightened attitude that you're going to gain from the situation, and none of the painful trauma. And so you won't be in a knee-jerk reaction anytime something similar comes up. You'll be able to evaluate everything for what it really is. Because in this way, the energetic heart center guards the gate of life. It prevents certain events from leaving the subconscious memory and others from entering it. So if something has been particularly painful and you've blocked parts of it out, it is because you are being instructed by the heart, the guard at the gate. You're going to remember that this bad thing happened, but if the actual event itself is so traumatic that it would cause incredible damage, you may not remember the events, and that's fine. You don't need to. You need to heal it without obsessing over each little detail. This is why it's vital to regularly do a heart assessment during which you evaluate the contents of the heart, your reoccurring thought stream, and any limiting beliefs that you may be maintaining. Do it like spring cleaning almost. Do not allow all of these things that we pick up as we go through our life or just in our daily interaction to get allowed to hop in there and not be evaluated. Some things are just silly and they can go right on. But other things, when you feel like your gut might be clenching up, take a look at why that's happening. Why is that bothering you so much? It may just be this current circumstance. It may be triggering something from before that you didn't clear and heal. If it's just your current circumstance, take a look, evaluate. Can you clear it and heal it now? If so, do so. If you need to put a little distance and come back to it, do that. If this is something from the distant past that is still controlling you, time to take even more deliberate action and get out from under the weight of that experience. If you don't exchange that which is of a lower vibration, the hatred, anger, resentment, jealousy, fear, you name it, for that which is of the highest vibration, you will be forever wedded to the strongest thoughts and feelings, whether or not they reflect your desire. This is when it feels like I don't have a choice. In other words, you may desire to feel good continuously. That is what you believe to be your choice. But you may also be refusing to release old anger, pain, and jealousy. Understand that is also your choice. However, the anger, pain, and jealousy would dominate your energetic signature, even though your desire was to feel good. Why would this happen? Because if you're holding on to anger, pain, and jealousy, you've been practicing that for a really long time, or you practice it pretty much continuously throughout your day, and then every once in a while you say, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm ready to feel good. And you try to feel good for a few minutes, and you give up because you've been practicing this other way of being for a really long time, and every once in a while you hop over into feeling good. You can't have both things truly active. They are opposites, and they cannot truly be active in your energetic beingness. One of them is going to be something you're just every once in a while thinking about, and the other thing is going to be your signature way of being. So in a conflict, the dominant vibration always wins, and you will notice as you are staying longer and longer in the high, beautiful vibration of love, joy, and peace, someone can come to you and say very cruel and mean things, and you may almost see yourself stepping outside of yourself and saying, gosh, that was a mean thing to say, and having no desire to retaliate or become angry or hurt or sad or depressed. You just look at that person and think, gosh, I prefer to stay in my place of love, joy, and peace. How can I handle this situation and do that? I might need to walk away. I might need to say nothing, but I certainly don't need to get into the argument with that person. So the dominant vibration always wins. What we need to remember is our society, which emphasizes the negative mind. We have very few of us have grown up in a home that was always emphasizing the positive and harping on that continuously. We generally grew up in homes where we were told that we needed to be afraid, that life was hard, to be careful. It generally wasn't love, joy, and peace all the time. So, because this is true of our society, most students enter the spiritual path with a negative mindset that they must overcome as they begin their spiritual journey. It's okay. No condemning. Just, hey, you know what? I get it. This is where I'm beginning. I'm really very negative. Thank God I recognize this, because now I can do something about it. And as I continue on this journey, I'll get better and better at catching myself and switching myself over to the positive, light, high vibration that I want to cultivate. Yet, as more and more of you mature, it is our hope that this behavioral attachment will shift from negative to positive. So as we see these new children coming into the earth, bringing with them their incredible ability to interact with the energetic realm much more easily than most of us are able to. Let's encourage them to be positive, to stay in those high vibrations of love, joy, and peace. Let's make it our goal to create a society that is more positive than negative. So now let us examine the heart as the gateway to the divine or your portal to success. This is not saying, and I know I emphasize this quite a bit, but we need to address all the aspects of our being, and ego is one of them. If we try to tell ourselves things like, I'm stupid and I can't do it without God's help, the ego is going to get quite justifiably angry. But we can say, I'm so wise that I choose to find and make use of the greatest help that I can so that I am always getting the best advice possible. And then the ego can calm down and support you in searching for the wisdom that will move you forward. So, we are partners with the divine. Once the heart is cleared and a personal supportive relationship has been established, which is a self-loving relationship, that means no more, you're stupid, why did you do that, what were you thinking? That is not self-loving. You can say, hey, I love you, I'm sorry that I made that mistake, please forgive me, you deserve better. You are so brilliant. Just help me out. Help me understand even more. I'm really excited about this. So once the heart is cleared and a personal supportive relationship has been established, which is a self-loving relationship that respects all of the bodies in which you inhabit, then it will be possible for you to expand beyond the personal limitations you are currently subjecting yourselves to. Now, before you say, well, I'm not limited, I want you to be really honest. A self-loving relationship is also extremely honest. You're able to say, whew, that was not my best choice, and I know I can do better. I believe in myself so much that I know I can do better than this. So, it's okay to look and say, I can see that thought pattern is limiting me in this particular area. I'm going to let that go. Be flexible. Keep growing. The teachings of Jesus reflect this truth over and over again. Now, for those of you who want to be offended by Jesus, I'm sorry, but you know what? Jesus is the keeper of the heart, not Jesus the person, Jesus the Christ, the energy of unconditional love. I am in the heart all the time. And for a long time, I was trying to not use the word Jesus so it wouldn't be offensive to anyone. And I'm giving up. Jesus is a physical representation of the heart. It is the energy that I know the best. And if you are interested in understanding this energy from a different religious viewpoint, this is not a religious viewpoint, then you need to go study the religion that you're interested in. I am simply looking at it from a spiritual perspective, but the physical being who brought unconditional love to us the first time is Jesus, and that energy represents the heart. So, speech over, but I'm just not going to apologize for Jesus anymore. So, repeatedly you are asked to give up your attachments to the physical as well as your misguided or negative thought patterns which are no longer serving you. Jesus came as a physical representation of the energy of unconditional love. The Christ Spirit is the energy of awakening and anointing of all who are ready to receive. Let us again understand how much power we have. We are in control. It is our choice whether we receive or not. Receiving unconditional love is the greatest gift ever given anywhere at any time. And yet you still are so powerful that you may choose to not receive it. That's how amazingly powerful you are. Now let's understand the passage, those who have ears, let them hear. You, the receiver, must be ready and willing to hear the message before it can become understandable. If the heart is clouded with unbelief or lower vibrational energy, then the message may be heard with the physical ears, but it will not be understood by the energetic ears. The energetic body will be unable to act upon the information until the barriers are dissolved. This is so important. You may hear teachings from famous teachers, and you may think, what? Huh? I don't get it. It is because there is a heart disconnect. Something in your heart is not feeling comfortable with accepting the information that you're hearing. That's okay. You don't have to. But what I do want you to do is check with your heart and make sure that it is not a limiting belief that is stopping you from living your fullest life. Just go in and check. You don't have to agree with the other teachers that are out there. You don't have to agree with me. All I want you to do is go in and check to make sure that your opinion or your belief is not stemming from a belief that is holding you back. And I'll give you an example. Let's say I say to you, I hear a teacher that says, peaches are the best fruit and everyone should eat a peach every day. And I think to myself, I hate peaches. Why in the world would anybody eat a peach? And I just walk away. Okay, so I never eat a peach, and I never have that experience, and I believe that I have not hurt myself. However, if I were to go into my heart, I may find that one time I had eaten so many peaches that I made myself sick, and then I made a vow to myself, I will never eat peaches again. Well, I don't have to eat peaches to the extent that I get sick. I can eat one peach and get the benefit. But my limiting belief was going to stop me from getting any benefit from the peach, even though it is not something that would have hurt me if I chose to adopt this process in moderation. So you don't absorb everything and everyone says to you. You feel it out. How does it feel to you? And if you run up against resistance, find out why you're feeling resistant. What is that resistance all about? Did you eat so many peaches that you threw up and decided never to eat another peach? If so, you're a little older, you can control yourself better. Perhaps you could learn to eat peaches in moderation and get the benefit. Or perhaps it just never will feel good to you, and that's okay. That's your choice. But at least you've examined it. And then Jesus goes on to tell us, I am the vine and you are the branches. Cut off from me, you can do nothing. Many of you believe that clinging to the name Jesus or trying to reconstruct the physical being of Jesus is necessary for this statement to be applied. And I have to tell you, I spent years saying, I just wish Jesus would come back so that we could have miracles again. I don't understand why there was only one time in history that a prophet came forward. This was before I understood about Muhammad and Buddha and all of the continuous prophets that have come forward. I was, I think, late teens, maybe early 20s. I just kept saying to myself, I don't get it. There are no miracles today. Why won't Jesus come back and do miracles today? What was so special about those people that we don't get that same special treatment? Again, it was my misconception. Yet, so I was wanting to cling on to this being that to me appeared larger than life at a time when my life was entering its most chaotic phase. It had a brief lull in my 20s, and then it started into this chaotic descent of confusion so that I could find my way back. But even before the real chaos, I was saying, oh, if Jesus would just show up again, we could have some miracles and get this world back being a nice, loving place. Yet, that's not what Jesus was telling us when he was saying that I am the vine and you are the branches. He didn't want us clinging on to him, calling his name without understanding what we were doing, or trying to ask, beg, cajole, plead that he come back. Jesus was explaining that his energy, his being of unconditional love, which is generated and continued through the heart center, is the vine or the connector between you and infinite intelligence. You don't need an intermediary. You already have your heart center. Jesus' role was to show us how to use the heart center, not to create a whole group of people that believe they're nothing and Jesus is everything. You are everything, just as Jesus is everything. Trying to reach heaven through the mind with logic and thought, no matter how precise the thought, is impossible. You cannot reach the Father, which is divine intelligence, through the rational mechanism of the mind. You can only reach and then deepen the connection through the feeling center of the heart, which is represented by the Christ energy of universal acceptance. There is nothing wrong with reading and memorizing religious texts. I just ask that no matter which religion it is that you're devoting yourself to, please understand what is being said to you. Don't just memorize it and say it. Really get into the heart with whatever it is and try to understand it. And if you cannot, ask for clarification from God. But what I want you to not do is just memorize and recite like you're a robot. That's keeping it in the mind. You can memorize and use and apply it through the heart. But you need to know what you're talking about. No matter what religion it is or philosophy, whatever it is, you need to understand and not just be a reciting parrot. And I know that our schools are partially to blame for this. They would have us memorize passages. I don't want you to just be good at memorizing. I want you to be able to understand and use the information. God is an unlimited being, and access to Source is denied no one. However, it's imperative that you thrust aside the education acquired by the mind and welcome the feeling of the heart if you are to be God conversant. The greatest life is lived when we are truly understanding and in union with God, with Source, with divine intelligence. When you are aligned with Source, you automatically move in accordance with all that is for your highest good. An open and receptive relationship with Source enables every person to experience and then far exceed their personal best as they lose the fear of not being enough. Again, this is not you're nothing and God is everything. It is a partnership. You are choosing to see where you are and also the broad view that will tell you and give you guidance as to where you need to be in order for the optimal experience. That's all you're doing. You are optimizing your vision and your experience. God is more than enough. You are a part of God and cannot be less than He. Therefore, you are more than enough. When you clear and heal the heart center and then allow the heart center to be your energetic focal point, you open yourself to the unlimited mind and possibilities that are represented by the energy of unconditional love. Oh, you cannot be greater than God. God is everywhere and everything. You cannot supersede God. You can't be more than God. But God's in you and you are in God, so you can't be less. You won't be equal, but you'll still have God within you. There is still a God part of you, no matter how far off the track you go. The next time you look at somebody and you think, oh man, you're having a rough go, person, and it would be better if you did not join in those kinds of judgments because it's just going to make it hard on you. But when you see someone who is struggling, don't make the mistake of believing that they are no longer loved by God. They may have just tightened their connection. Love them anyway. Show them that they are lovable and encourage them to create a loving God connection. So let's take a look at a recap of everything they've shared with us. And then they've given us a little technique that will help us clear that heart center or take a look in the heart center to see if we're needing that kind of help. So remember, when you are tapping or when you are wanting to energize the heart center, it is right in the middle of the heart. I mean, in the body. You don't need to go to the left, like when we say the Pledge of Allegiance in our country, we'll put our hand over the left side, over the heart, the physical heart. When you are doing energetic work, it is best if you stay where the chakra systems are, the portals are, the opening would be. That's going to be your greatest point of connection. So right in the center, right in the middle of the breastbone where you feel that little indent. Now, also, so important, we cannot allow the spiritual heart to go on autopilot like the physical heart. The physical heart, fine, don't worry about it. Take good care of your physical body. That's the right thing to do. But your spiritual body requires a little bit more work, a little more consistent practice, and really paying attention. You don't want to put that on automatic pilot. So in the spiritual body, if you're not paying attention and you've not established the dominant program that you desire, you're going to default to society's dominant pattern, and right now, it is still negative. We still have a tendency to point out what's wrong instead of what's right. So, if you're not taking charge, the world view will take charge for you, and you'll get stuck with that same negative mindset, which is a victim kind of mindset. I don't want you to be victims. I want you to be victors. The only way that you can be that is to recognize your power, how incredibly powerful you are. Because no one is required to be a victim. You don't have to experience a horrible thing. We agree to have these experiences so that we can grow more quickly. But God doesn't say, okay, you, Susie, Mary, and Tom, you're today's victims, and I want you to be okay with it. That's not the way it works. We're not required to be victims, but we will become them if we don't take responsibility for our thoughts and actions. When we are children, if we have entered into a home situation or any kind of situation that is traumatic in any way, that can be abusive, bullying, or just tough, it was because we chose that for our growth. It is not because we're being punished. Remember, the energetic heart center is your gateway into the divine mind. It is the realm of the subconscious, and the subconscious will store your past experiences, your judgments, and your belief systems. And this is where we can get in trouble. If you don't do the work to make sure that what you're storing is what you want, then you will get whatever you may have stored there. Whatever you have allowed to sit unhealed is what you will experience. So, as the subconscious mind, as you're having the experience, you're not going to be able to sit down and do an evaluation during the experience. Just get through it. Especially if you're just new to this path, you're still going to be having a lot of experiences that don't feel great, and you'll have a lot of knee-jerk reactions. Just get through it. When you can take that deep breath and you're ready to sit down and be quiet, then you can say, okay, let me take a look at what just happened and decide what I want to keep and what I need to let go of from this experience. And then you start clearing out. Okay, I lost my temper. Well, you're not going to, in the middle of this incident, suddenly stop unless you are extremely highly evolved, and then it's more likely that you will never lose your temper. But let's just say you lose your temper and you are extremely highly evolved. You may feel yourself starting to react or get the first couple of words out of your mouth, and you might say, what am I doing? And immediately pull back, apologize to the other person, and take yourself off for a moment to recover. But most people can't do that. So let's say you lose your temper, something triggers you, and you act in a way that you feel is really beneath you. Once you're calm, once you've had a minute to just process, then you take the time to look in the heart and say, gosh, what is making me react that way, and what can I do about it? That's spiritual maturity. So every experience is evaluated so that we know what we want to repeat and what we want to let go of. Sometimes with the bad experiences, we get in the habit of running away. And that sounds great on the surface, but what happens again is if we don't confront it, if we don't look at the experience or our behavior and say, okay, am I kidding? This was terrible. I'm really embarrassed. If we don't do that work, it's just going to come bite us in the butt again, usually when we're least prepared. So it's always better to get out ahead of it. So we'll either be in protective mode or we'll be over-aggressive. So again, the abused child probably is going to be in protective mode, but sometimes they become overly aggressive because now they feel physically powerful, whereas before they felt too small and tiny to be powerful. But neither one is going to give them an ideal life. It's just going to keep them in a state of disruption. They would be better served getting into the heart, clearing and healing that abuse, and deciding how they wanted to move forward from there, instead of constantly reliving the past and feeling very uncomfortable about it. Okay. Now, we also need to remember that the dominant vibration will always be the one that you've practiced the longest or the one that you're most aligned with, which is usually the one you practice the most. So, if you find yourself being submissive or being really, really negative or losing your temper or doing things that are on the negative side of the scale, it's because you have not been strict with yourself and asked yourself or stopped yourself when you were engaging in this behavior. It's okay. Start now. Get paying attention. Because you can say one thing, you can say, oh, I just want to be in love, joy, and peace. And then the minute something comes up that you don't like, you completely lose it. Your actions are really telling you where you are. Your words are telling where you may want to be, but you need to take some action, get a hold of yourself, and do the work. We can't just sit around and wish. We really have to apply this understanding. So Jesus telling us, I am the vine and you are the branches. Cut off from me, you can do nothing. That passage stumped me for years and years and years. I could not figure out why God would have done this. Why, God, would you send somebody just for that time in biblical history, and give them access to you, and the rest of us are cut off? And that made me so angry and so confused and pushed me further than anything else, as I wouldn't stop digging until I could find something. I started looking at other religions. I completely left the Christian religion and just wanted to look at more of a world, a spiritual view. And I didn't care about any kind of religious view. I just wanted to understand. And here's what I've discovered. The only way into the energetic realm is not through another human being. It is not through someone who has been here and has returned to the energetic. It is not through any of the saints or any of those beings that we feel we can never be. It is through the energetic heart center that each one of us have. No one gets here without an energetic heart center, just as no one gets into their physical body without a heart, unless they've chosen to return back to the energetic immediately. We all have access to the divine. We all have an energetic heart center, and we need no one to help us get there. The only way to live a successful physical life is with the assistance of the divine, and absolutely no one is standing between you and the divine except your limiting belief. You do not need a go-between. You can certainly ask someone to help you, to teach you, to guide you. But please never believe that they have access that you do not. You may not have honed your access as well as the other person because perhaps they've been doing it longer. But you start practicing and you too will have that access. You'll be just as in alignment as they are. But you have to put in the time. I guarantee you they've put in the time. So someone can help you and guide you and teach you and lead you and help you heal. But if you're not willing to do your part, they cannot do it for you, nor should you believe anyone that says, pay me and I'll do it for you, you have to do nothing. That's a charlatan. You do have to do your own work. The only thing anyone can do for you is help you find your own way. Okay, now I promised you that we were going to go over this heart assessment technique that they gave us. So I want you to get a pack of index cards, and you can, for this particular thing, they're telling me two different things. You can get white index cards with highlighters, or you can get different colored index cards, and then you don't need the highlighters. So whichever you have access to. And you want to put all of your life events on separate index cards. Anything that's traumatic, that's really bothering you, you put one event per card. Sort it all out on a big table. Past will be left, present will be center, future to the right. Now, if you have it on white index cards, which is the way they presented it to me first, you need 3 highlighter colors. Let me get back to my directions. Yellow, caution. These are events that happened that you've overcome and grown from. You don't want to repeat them. You're not really thinking about them anymore. But if something similar were to come up, you would know enough to stay away. You would use a yellow highlighter on those events or put them on a yellow card. Pink or red, because I don't know of a red highlighter, I only know of pink, and I think the index cards are also pink. Those are stop events. These are things that were painful when you were considered yourself to be a victim. You do not want to go near these again unless you can go as an equal and you don't feel victimized or downtrodden. And it would also be a stop for you. If you find that your behavior is mimicking the perpetrator, then you want a red flag. You need to stop that behavior right away, that thought, or whatever it may be. So let's say you were abused as a child and you find yourself thinking about how you could, when you're angry, that you need to be abusive toward your child. That is a red event. That is not your highest good. You need to stop that right now. Get in there and heal the trauma from your own childhood. Then you have the green events, or go, repeat events. These are things that felt pleasant, that made you feel great, that you would want to do over and over and over again, and that you would want to share with other people. And everybody is going to have a few, whoa, I'm really glad I didn't do those kinds of things, caution events, but hey, you know what, maybe I'm a little wiser now and I can see the benefit of this, so maybe I will try it, but I'm going to be very cautious, or maybe I will give this person another chance in my life, even though at the time we were both emotionally and spiritually immature and our relationship didn't work out. But you would still be cautious to make sure that the relationship, if you chose to pursue it, was going in a mature direction and was not filled with revenge or resentment. And then those stop events, as I said, those things you don't ever want to repeat, things that you're ashamed of your behavior. Recognize, I really wasn't in my right mind. I really am embarrassed that I participated in that. And let it go. Just don't do it again. And then you have your green events that, hey, I want more of this. So you take your stack, and the reds and the pinks, that's your hard line. Do not cross. This is my personal boundary. I will not cross this. I will not allow anyone else to cross this. That's a healthy boundary. Yellow, well, I've been hurt but healed, and I'm going to evaluate each situation as it arises, being aware of my own value, but also knowing that I still want to grow. It's not in the forbidden territory, that place that was so painful that it just doesn't have any growth potential. And then you have your green things, which are your safe experiences that can be repeated without you needing to do any work whatsoever. There's no reevaluation that's necessary. You just know this has been a wonderfully safe, happy, joyous experience for me. You want to periodically reevaluate your life experiences and add to them so that you do maintain those healthy boundaries that are so important. But you also want to honor your commitment to growth. Really, really important that you allow yourself to grow, but you keep evaluating the heart space to say, I feel great when I take walks in nature. It just makes me feel fabulous. Whereas I almost drowned as a child, I'm very uncomfortable swimming. I'm going to heal that trauma, and perhaps I will take swimming lessons. That would be a yellow caution thing for me. I'll take swimming lessons because I need to get over that fear. That would be a way that you are using a past trauma to grow. But there may be a situation in your past where, let's say you did something, and even if it was unintentional, you hadn't thought through your actions, and it resulted in a tremendous amount of hurt for the other person and for you. That would be something that you say, no, I'm better than that. I don't ever want to do that again. I've grown beyond that. Okay, so that is our way to get in and take a practical look at the heart. Remember, they love to give us practical solutions that we can apply. So, and often when we see things written and in front of us and we can shuffle the cards around, which is why I think it's better to do it on white index cards and really look at what you have before you put it in categories. And then you can assign with the highlighter what color you want it to be. But really take a look at it. Some things you have healed and grown so far beyond, you don't even need to process them anymore. Just let it go. Just give yourself a high five for growing past that. Really stepping into your fullness. Other things are going to pop up and you realize, wow, I need to do some work on this. This is really causing me some problem, some difficulty. It's causing me to act in ways that I'm not comfortable. And remind yourself, hey, I'm better than that. I'm not a slave to any emotion or anything. I'm better than that. I'm a child of God. I'm perfect just the way I am, and I'm getting even better. As I grow, I become more perfect for the now that I am occupying at this moment. So you can allow yourselves to be perfect for where you were, perfect for where you are, and perfect for where you're going, because none of us stay the same. Now, I'm going to share really quickly a story with you. I see I've already used up all of our time. So as I'm telling the story, if anybody has a concern that we can answer quickly, please star 2. Otherwise, I'm going to tell a story about a heart-centered event that happened to me, and then we'll sign off until next Wednesday. I just want you guys so much to experience life in the heart. It will not be easy. I didn't get here immediately, and I don't even stay here all the time. Even though this is my work, you would think, oh my gosh, it must be easy for her. She talks to people about the heart all day long, and she just must live there. No, I'm still learning. I'm much better than I was 20 years ago, but I'm still learning. And it's still a delight. The miracles delight me. The learning delights me. Sharing with all of you delights me. And the more that I do this work and work on myself, the easier it becomes. But it's not even automatic for me yet. So don't feel badly if it's not automatic for you. As I said, this is my work, and it's still taking me a while. But anyway, I have to tell you this great story, which is I went to buy a desk. Since I've moved, I haven't had a desk. In the place that I was before, I was using a table that we're now using as the kitchen table. And so I haven't had a desk, and I've been looking everywhere for a desk. So I finally went into the store, and I thought, oh my gosh, I found the perfect desk. I measured it, and I got home, and I thought, oh yeah, I really think I can do it. It's going to be kind of tight to get it into the room where I wanted the desk to be. The configuration of the hallway was going to be a little bit of a problem, but I was like, oh, I'm sure the angels would not have brought me to this place if they didn't want me to have this desk. So I go to buy it and pick it up, and my son is with me, and he said, Mom, did you realize how heavy this is? Well, I had no idea. And he said, I know you measured it, but we're never going to get around that corner in the hallway. This is not going to happen. Okay, so I'm spending all of my time wanting to be in the high vibration of love, joy, and peace. And I said, okay, you know what? That kind of stings. I really wanted this desk. I thought it was so perfect. I'm just going to let it go. And angels, thank you. There must be something else here. And there was a round table that was a little big, and I thought, okay, well, not the greatest efficient use of space, but I'll take it. It will do better than what I'm using now, and I'll keep looking because I'm absolutely certain I've got a great desk waiting for me somewhere. And we're on our way out the door, and all of a sudden I see this desk. I say, wait a minute. So I borrow their measuring tape, I measure it, and sure enough, it is a good size, and this one actually has a different configuration that will allow us to get it in the door, and it's light enough for us to carry it. So I take back the round table, and I get this desk, and I get it home, and I'm loving it. It's exactly what I want, and the only thing is I like to type on a keyboard, and I'm so short that it's a little difficult for me, it's a little uncomfortable when the keyboard is on the desk because it's a little too high for me. And so I was thinking, I need to figure out how I can lower the keyboard. And there is a drawer right in the center. And I was thinking, well, maybe the keyboard will be big enough and the drawer small enough so that I can rest it on either side of the desk. Well, no, that was too big. Then I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can put something in the drawer to hold it up and I can get around the ledge of the drawer. No, that's not working. I pull the drawer out and I'm thinking, okay, I'll just learn to type with it in the drawer. It's not exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. I can work with this. And I open the drawer and I hear the angels tell me, press down on the lever on either side of the drawer, the silver lever. And I press down, and sure enough, the front door panel slides down and it becomes a keyboard tray. I found the wrong desk in the right store because I was willing to give up what was wrong and believe that something better would come. I even bought something that was not good but would suffice. They were able to deliver to me something better than I had imagined that was exactly perfect. That was a day that I got it right. There are many days when I've gotten it wrong. But that was a day that I got it right. And I am so grateful for this angelic assistance from the energetic realm. So I thank you all. And Doug, I think that's you that has their hand raised. We're already over time, but is there a question that you have that we can help you with quickly? Doug, you might have muted yourself. I can't hear you.
Hello?
Hi there.
Okay, we wanted to say I love you. Have a nice day. I appreciate you. And anyone else that's on the call, if it's 30 people or 50 people, to remember to, thanks for picking up my phone call and for your time that you took and spent. To remember to honor yourself, but really congratulate yourself for taking on the work, because there's a million, there are millions of people that are nowhere near what we're doing and what you're doing. So don't forget that you kick ass like that. All right. Much love. God's love.
Beautiful, Doug.
Don't forget to honor yourself for doing a hard work. Robert Peck called it Robert Scott Peck called it the road less traveled. And it may seem common, and you may think things are like, oh, well, this makes sense. But there's a lot of people that are doing many things that never made any sense. And not condoning, but just remember, just remember that you're how rare you are. And Marcia, thank you. This is Doug. And for real and for sure, Marcia Martin is one of those people. That's incredible. Thanks.
Aw, thanks, Doug. And I just want to say before we sign off, please take Doug's words to heart. Congratulate yourself. He is so right. There are so many people that run around, oh, poor me. Look what these mean people are doing to me. They are just as powerful as you are. They're just refusing to look at it. You are brilliant. You are magnificent. I'm so proud of each and every one of you for being willing to go against the societal norm and say, I want a better life for myself, and I'm not willing to settle for the doom and gloom mentality. Yes, please congratulate yourself. You are amazing. And you deserve all that good that's coming to you. Everyone deserves all the good that is out there. All they have to do is claim it. So let's remember to be in our high place, to share the love, especially with ourselves, and to let everyone know that they deserve the good that is here for them now. All right, everyone. Until next Wednesday, I'm sending you all my love.